The story of a man who had to struggle a lot to prove his innocence. A man helped a woman who had fallen near a car to get up. The woman said, "Please change my car's tire." The man said, "I have a hearing. I'll be late." The woman said, "I am a judge. If I'm late for my hearing, the accused will be released. Park the car outside the court." She gave the keys to the man and, being the judge, left in a taxi. A few minutes later, the judge asked in court, "Where is the accused?" The secretary said, "The accused hasn't arrived yet." The judge said, "If he is not here within 10 minutes, we will issue an arrest warrant." Meanwhile, the man changed the tire, hid his bicycle there, and at that very moment, a police officer arrived and said, "This car is parked in the wrong place." The man said, "I'm just about to leave." The officer said, "Show me your license." The man showed his license. The officer said, "Show the registration book." The man said, "It's not in the car. Actually, this belongs to a judge's car." The officer said, "Nevertheless, I will fine you $60. The officer handed the fine ticket to the man and left. While getting into the car, something fell from the man's pocket. Sometime later in court, the judge said, 10 minutes have passed and the accused still hasn't arrived. We will now issue the order." At that moment, the man, who was the accused in this case, entered the courtroom and said, "Sorry, I was delayed by some obstacle." The plaintiff said, "Your Honor, he has been practicing lying." The lawyer said, "Sir, he arrived very late and his clothes are dirty." The judge said, "Be quiet. This is not a theater. Proceed with the case." The man sat down. The judge asked, "Where is your lawyer?" The man said, "I will defend myself." The judge asked, "What do you want to say in your defense?" The man said, "I am innocent." The lawyer, for the plaintiff, said, "Your Honor, this is the thief who stole a computer full of confidential data. He will say the same." The judge said, "Be quiet. You are not allowed to interrupt." The man said, "I worked at the company as a technician. They gave me a computer which I repaired and left there." The judge asked, "Is there any witness to confirm your statement?" The man said, "No." The lawyer said, "Sir, the audit report is clear. The computer went missing under his supervision." The judge asked the plaintiff what she wanted. The lawyer said, "We want the man to be held responsible for the loss." The judge asked, "Are you sure there isn't any other thief?" The plaintiff said, "Yes, absolutely." The judge asked, "Anything else you want to say in your defense?" The man said, "Yes, I have a video in which the plaintiff herself is seen taking the computer out of the building at night." The judge asked, "Where is the video?" The man checked his pockets and said, "Maybe my flash drive was lost somewhere while I was changing the tire." The plaintiff said, "Sir, he is just wasting our time." The judge said, "The accused should be given the opportunity to present his defense." The lawyer asked, "What if the accused runs away?" The judge said, "Then we will take action against him. For now, there will be a 30-minute recess." Everyone left. A few minutes later, the plaintiff said, "A new problem has come up." The lawyer said, "This video story was not part of our plan." The plaintiff said, "If he finds that video, we are ruined." The lawyer said, "There is no magic in 30 minutes." The plaintiff said, "He even lost the flash drive. Now he will be seen as a liar." The lawyer said, "We will pressure the judge to give a decision today and we will claim insurance." The plaintiff said, "If he brings the video, we will prove it edited or fake." The lawyer said, "Whatever it is, he will lose." On the other hand, the man picked up his fallen flash drive from the street, came to court and said, "Here is the evidence." The lawyer said, "Now what trick will you show?" The plaintiff said, "He must have made the video on the way." The judge said, "Yes."